Hey guys. So, wasn't feeling the best today. Still not feeling the best. But I took a nap at like 2:30. I wake up. It's now 7:30 and I wake up to this. First over on OF, case is closed. Chris Chan is being released on probation. And then here, August 11, 2022, case updated with waive rights to indictment and transportation order review scheduled for next year. So this is the so hearing information. 8/9/22 continued. Motion, other pre-trial, grand jury, no indictment presented, continued. And then here we have order, waive right to indictment, transportation order, order motion. So it goes from the bottom, it's the furthest, it looks like. So we got the 5th going up to the 9th, or rather, that's 10th right here. So, but I think this person probably has the best idea of what happened. Well, given much of the detail on Vine have been scrubbed clean, it would seem that the Ween's assertion of Haleberg petition for the case to be sealed has been granted. Moreover, the scheduling of the case review 1 year from now, combined with the transportation order dated yesterday, all things considered, points to Chris having been granted his deferred disposition, meaning it's like, oh, his autism. Exactly where he ends up is anyone's guess. It's very unlikely we won't be hearing anything out of the Teflon Tards for months. It's not until next year. This is perhaps the worst possible outcome for Weens, hoping that Chris just move Chris on to the next saga. The worst possible outcome for those hoping Chris would finally get a taste of justice, but still an acceptable outcome insofar as it keeps him the fuck off the streets. TLDR, unless until Chris chimps out majorly and winds up back in court, we're not getting our tar trial. So I think that kind of breaks down mostly what it is. So, like we said, he's not going to be able to go back to the house. You know, Barb's still there apparently. And I was thinking, well, probation, great, but what, he's not allowed near Barb, but what about everyone else? Because if he said he cleansed her aura and chakras by fucking her, possibly forcibly. So if he did that to his mother, what's stopping him from doing it to someone else? You know, if he thinks he's a literal reincarnation of Jesus Christ, do you really think that he would give up the chance to help someone relieve themselves of their sins? So I'm glad he's going to be off the streets and not out in the wild with all of us, because we don't need more cases of sexual assault to this fucking idiotic 40-year-old who thinks they're Jesus Christ. Just no. So him getting wherever locked up somewhere where, facility, whatever, where he can't hurt anyone, I guess really that's the best outcome. As fun as a homeless saga would have been, like I said, that still opens up the possibility of Chris hurting someone else. And that's not what we want here. We want the best for everyone else, and we want Chris to suffer. So him being out there in the wild with everyone else, being able to make his videos and this and that, it wouldn't have been satisfactory, even if it was probation. So the fact that it looks like he's going to be continue to be locked up somewhere, does help a little bit. Sonic's dead. point, according to Angle, Chris has been placed in a group home. Chris sneaks back in the branch of the court and is caught by police. That's his problem, not mine. He'd have to be out of jail to do that. Has been Chris been set free? Did he get probation? They must have placed him in a group home. And knows jack shit and is guessing like everyone else. He has been the best line of communication to Chris right now due to a massive ass patting he provides constantly. But that's the line is that that line is still only letters that take several days to arrive. Yeah. Angle doesn't know dick. They must have wording makes it clear that he doesn't know either. What's this? I used my autism in court and won. Autism, yay. The fact that autism may actually have saved him from facing the appropriate consequences for his actions, yet again, is disappointing, but expected. Yeah. Americans' criminal justice system fucking sucks. I get that this is supposed to make things fair, but if I was a juror, even if I had never heard of Chris, the facts would be laid out. DNA evidence of Chris diddling his mom, history of violence offenses, history of stalking and sexual harassment, obvious sham transgender status. Yeah, he's not actually transgender. People told him that if he did that, he could get lesbians. Um, Clear abuse of his autism disability. Again, the dude is fucking 40 years old. Okay, blaming autism, that's something you do when you're it's a child. Like, oh, it's just he's autistic and my cousin Matthew is autistic. I remember we would go to the house during the summers and I'd go into the office where they had the computer and he's on the computer looking at like a WWE website. But I come in, he sees me, and he fucking covers the screen up like he's looking at porn. So yeah, they're extremely weird and, I guess you could say quirky, but I've never met someone with autism who wants to go out and fuck their mother. So people seriously need to stop. And I've seen a lot of your guys' comments saying that you have autism or you're at least on the same spectrum. And every single one of these people, every single one of them say this is a huge insult to people who have autism. Because it's making it seem like, oh, well, now all, if autistic people do terrible things, you can just blame it on autism. So, and it's usually the people who are defending him, the ones who don't have fucking autism. He has autism. It's not his fault at 40 fucking years old. But sure, let's keep blaming his disability. He's just a terrible fucking person. Look at serial killers who may not have mental illnesses, who don't have autism or anything like that. They're just bad fucking people. They're just stupid. They made all the wrong decisions in life, so we can't blame autism for everything that Chris does. Confessed his crimes to multiple people, which he fucking did. Like what, 3, 4 of the letters? Like I was soul bonding. I cleansed her sins and realigned her chakras and auras. Clear intent to reoffend. I feel like a jury can make a decision on this in a week. A year is an ungodly amount of time to come to a decision on such a clearly open shut case. Yeah. Maybe if Chris was a boomer in some far left place like Portland or San Francisco, I could see a bunch of old hippies wanting to think about it. But really, in right wings Virginia, they aren't going to throw the. I was hoping they would throw a literal book at him, and move on. Move book at him and move on an obvious degenerate. Just a colorful words that I'm not allowed to say. But you can clearly see what the person said. The last place they would put someone with mental illness accused of sexual assault is in a group home. Yeah. Because at group home, you're still able to interact with people. Again, he's not going to learn. He's just a bad person. And the fact is, if he has that urge again, he can still easily offend again. He needs to be separated. And as I said, I'm not talking about, blaming autism on this. There are just bad people in the world. So he's just, people can't keep blaming autism for something of the decisions of a 40-year-old. If he was a child or a teenager, maybe, but the dude is 40 years old. He's lived with this his entire life. And again, a lot of you, I got a lot of fucking comments saying that you guys, a lot of you are on the spectrum. And so he just needs to be put away. Well, knowing Chris, he'll sexually assault someone in a group home and or attempt to sneak back into 14 Virgin Court the second they're not looking, and will be right back in court. Yeah. That's probably part of the probation. He can't go back to the Sonichu Temple. Has he ever said he would fuck Barb again? Has he? Let's see. Crimes, no regrets for his actions. Clear intent to reoffend. Has he said anything about it? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it is fun. But yeah, this is what we're at. So, some kind of probation, which, again, not the outcome we would have liked, but anything that keeps them away from others is beneficial. Everyone. So, I mean, I know he says he has a thing for older women, but what if there's no access to older women? So it's he just needs a nice little padded room by himself. Um and just he can stay there. Because at 40 years old, this is still being a thing where people are blaming his disability for him doing terrible shit. So, whatever. And then the people have a thing where they're like, "Oh yeah, morons who talk about Chris." If I'm a moron who talks about Chris, so be it. I'm just so tired of people defending this guy and trying to say his disability of autism is somehow the reason for him doing everything. It's not. He's just a bad person. So, anyways, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.